Okay, so me and Daniel, we just went and we saw Captain America: Brave New World, and we're gonna give you our review of that movie real quick. Start it off, Daniel. What do you think of the movie overall? Let's just do a quick overall. And then we'll dive
Overall,
into some points.
I think that because I saw that a lot of people really didn't like this movie. It was like one of the lowest rated Marvel movies ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't think going into it that it was going to be that bad. And my own takeaway from it was that it was actually pretty good. Far from any of the worst movies I've seen. So, yeah, no, it was pretty good. I think that it held my attention. It was a little long. That's probably the only thing. It dragged a little bit. But other than that, it had good action, good... The characters were all pretty enjoyable, I think. Some, like, laughably so. Like, sometimes, like, they're trying to be serious, but you kind of... it's kind of hard to take them seriously. But overall, I think that it worked. It had a good moments.
Yeah, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I was expecting... I had real low expectations going in. So when we walked out of there, I was like, hey, that wasn't that bad. That was pretty good. Yeah, so, like, it kind of won me over because I was expecting... just really bad, and it was pretty decent. It was a solid swing. Marvel definitely has worse movies out there to pick from to start saying it's the bottom of the barrel. So, yeah, what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd probably give it actually a 7 out of 10. But you?
Yeah, right off the bat, I was like 6.5. But as I'm like thinking about the movie, kind of warming up to it, I might need another couple days to like really settle in on my actual opinion, but like just reacting, it was like, oh, that movie, it was long, so it kind of, and it got a little boring at certain parts. So you're like, it shouldn't get boring. They should have kept a tight little movie in there, and it would have been pretty good. But yeah, for that, like it got boring and it was a little long. Yeah, and some of the characters didn't really hit it out of the park for me. So. Yeah, I give it. Maybe I'm right there with you at a 7, but I'll stick with my 6.5 because that was my knee-jerk response just watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing that could go up, I think. I mean, you'd even watch it again. Would you watch it again, or would you tune into that thing again?
I probably would watch it again. Probably be a little bit more tuned out on the longer parts of it, but
yeah.
Like, I think the action scenes, I think that they held up.
Oh, yeah, the action scenes really saved that movie because it feels like they could have had a few more, but they were good, and, like, the effects, the visual effects look really good on that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah, usually with these types of movies, like these, I guess, lesser serious ones, I guess, like, Captain America is supposed to be taken more seriously now, but I think that, you kind of look at I guess because Captain America now or Falcon before, you kind of like looked at him as kind of a lesser hero, kind of more of a psychic. So him filling a role, like kind of.
Yeah, he did like step into the role from being a side character to a mainstream character. Yeah, because like the actor is good, Anthony Mackie. He's good. I think he could act pretty well, and stepping into the Captain America role though is a hard. It's a hard move to make, but yeah, I think he did pretty good with starring in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, because especially I don't know if you watched the Winter Soldier.
No, I missed all that.
One. Okay, yeah, because that was kind of the major point of him stepping up into the role of it, and it was kind of like that unsure if he could do it and everything. And it looks like now it was like good progression for the character because now it looks like he's into it now. So it was cool.
Yeah, I felt some of that like taste. Like he had to have some growing pains before in that show. Must have stepping into the role, but yeah, in this one he seemed pretty confident, a little unsure certain times, but yeah, he saw himself through. So that's cool. Mm-hmm. What'd you think of the villain? Was it a worthy adversary?
So I was thinking about this the whole time, and I was like, well, I don't know if we're getting into spoilers at this point, but like, I guess I'll try to save it. But the villain, without spoiling yet, is just kind of like, it's kind of a safe because they didn't have like a real villain. It didn't seem like it was just kind of like this kind of guy plays in the shadows and acts as one. So kind of was like there really is no villain. Almost, it's just kind of the suspense of what's happening in the story and all the characters. It's kind of like waiting for like a bomb to go off, like, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
and like waiting for the characters to figure it out. So, I don't know. I feel like the villain wasn't really largely impactful. So, especially when you do find out who it is, it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't like a, well, I was gonna say it wasn't like a world-ending threat, but it was appropriate for what the movie was, I guess, because they wanted to make it more grounded, like a political espionage kind of thriller, and kind of like it reminded me of Civil War a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of guy pulling the strings, but it's.
And I feel like that part of it, like you're not looking into that part. Like when you watch Civil War, like you didn't think of the villain, you thought of just like everything else in between. So I feel like the same kind of happened here. So.
Yeah. When you have someone that's like working in the shadows, they don't get the spotlight that like a Thanos does. It's like, okay, here he comes.
But I think that makes sense for like the era that they're living in the universe and everything. There really isn't any like level threat going on. So
yeah, it does feel like they're just setting up, like the new pieces are getting set up for the next next phase, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what this movie was doing, was laying out all the future for the series moving forward.
Yeah, so for having to do that, I guess it did pretty good. Like it was fine. So you want to get into spoiler territory, or you want to just keep
I think
walking around this thing?
I guess we could, you know. So the main villain's method, since he's not a super being or anything like that, his strategy was like mind control. So like the whole time I was like, oh, this is like Incredibles 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Like the whole time I'm like, oh, this is just Incredibles 2, where he's mind controlling,
mind slaver, or
mind
slaver, or screen slaver, or
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. And,
I think it's screen slaver.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's just this story.
Yeah, they ripped that so hard from like the beginning. That's how he's controlling people with their phones.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
with the screen, literally. So, which I guess is fine. You know, it's not like I was mad about it or anything, but I was just kind of like, all right. I guess it makes sense. But they played into it fairly well, keeping them guessing and figuring out the story, like figuring out the villain's plans. And yeah, but I don't know. Like that was kind of the thing that they played it safe. I feel like doing that. Same with like that was like kind of my issue with Incredibles too. Like the villain wasn't like bringing out this new type of, you know, kind of breaking the rules a little bit, trying to be different. So
there was no underminer.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but like it. I'm gonna get into something I didn't like about this movie really, and it was like I don't think they're very consistent with Captain America's like durability, because he's just a human, and they made they specifically like bring that in, like he didn't take the super soldier serum, and so he's just a man in the suit. So it's kind of like he takes some big hits, and it's like if he's just a dude in there, he should be a little more fragile.
Push through buildings and everything.
Yeah. So it seemed a little weird, but I guess Iron Man has that same problem too, because he's just a human in a suit. Although he seems way more armored.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing that I saw, was that he has a lot of like layers of armor kind of just underneath his clothing and everything, because he gets like attacked by one of the, I forget who it was.
Oh yeah,
one of the other like side villains, I guess. And he sneaks up and throws a grenade and blows up his car. Moff Gideon.
From Star Wars.
Yeah, this dude's always a villain in everything he plays.
It's kind of weird seeing him fight Captain America like hand to hand. It's like, oh, dude, he should just get wrecked.
But then again, they're both just humans, so it's like...
But he's old.
He's kind of old.
He gets drop kicked at one point. I'm like, oh, that's it. He's done. He's freaking crippled for the rest of his life.
But I feel like they kind of give him a lot of like armor and kind of like reason to tank some of these things. Like he's getting knives thrown at him or getting shot. It just leaves like a wound. It didn't like puncture him. So I guess that worked. But yeah, it is kind of like, dang, he's tanking a lot. Thrown through a building.
Yeah.
But I think that this might be a hot take, but I think that his method of fighting is way cooler than like Captain America or even like maybe Iron Man somewhat, because he's doing way more acrobatics. He's flying faster. He's got the shield, so he's like flying with the shield in front of him, so he's like blocking bullets and stuff. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's unique to him kind of because he has like that agility that I guess Captain America had some agility to him. Yeah, but with the tech and all that combined.
And then he has like the Wakanda tech in his wings now, so he's like sending off these repulse blasts when he
absorbing the.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's cool. That makes him actually like a good hero.
Yeah, leveled up.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to do that though, so he could hang.
And I feel like a lot of the time when they're telling like, Captain America would have did this, he's like, just because he has the serum, but I'm like, he can't fly. He's not going to be taken down. There's a scene where he's, I get a little bit of spoilers, but he's shooting down these missiles that are getting shot at like the ship. He has to protect the ship, and he's shooting them all down. And it's like Captain America wouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah, Captain America is pretty limited in what he could do.
I don't see as Mjolnir, but it's different.
Right.
But yeah, I think, yeah.
It's kind of how the movie left me, kind of like, yeah, like you get excited for a moment, then you could just kind of like, yeah, but,
Yeah.
Because they do make it seem like Captain America has, the shadow of Captain America looms
so
big, yeah. And I guess, like, he's, as a tentpole character, yeah, he's a huge presence, but, I mean, physically, it's all like Iron Man and Hulk.
Yeah. What did you think of the Red Hulk?
I thought it was pretty dope. I did like the scenes, like the fight scenes, and I think that was the best part for me.
The Red Hulk fight?
Yeah. I'd like to see... Well, I always like the Hulk hulking out, I like those scenes in all the Avengers movies, so... Just like that thing going nuts, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw somewhere before going in, I saw like the movie that he only had like maybe a minute and something of screen time. So, and I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it felt like he had his scene was impactful enough, so it's kind of like a payoff to finally see him transform and be around for a bit.
It does feel like they spoiled it in the trailers.
Oh yeah,
because it seems like it's supposed to be a reveal, like as he's changed. Like, oh no, he's doing something. He's transforming, but
yeah,
it's like, yeah, we already know. We saw the trailer.
Become the monster you want to be. It's like, yeah. If they didn't spoil that in the trailer, that would have been a pretty.
It'd have been nuts. Like, whoa, what's happening? What's he doing?
Yeah, I think it spoiled some potential there for people to like go watch it. Just like, oh, what Hulk is it?
Yeah, like if you went to this movie thinking like you're gonna get a lot of that. He got hardly any.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. I don't think that hurts it any, but I think that was just something like noteworthy about it. It's not like a problem they did with marketing maybe, and that's another thing why it hurt so bad on the box review results. Yeah,
it's getting pretty like if it's gonna pick up, it might, but right now like their box office is kind of low for that for a Marvel movie, a main Marvel movie. So,
and it doesn't deserve that, so go watch it.
Right now, it's getting 49% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.1 on IMDb.
Out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10.
Okay.
So it's 6.5, so
it's above the middle.
Yeah, I think it deserves a little bit.
I wonder if a lot of people went into this kind of like wanting to hate it somewhat, because I feel like that's just been the general take of Marvel lately. Like people go in like, all right, that wasn't that good, and hate it,
Yeah, well, Marvel needs to hit a home run, like a decisive win.
Yeah,
they can't just have mostly good.
Right. And I think they got on base with this one.
Yeah. It was a solid double. Lead off double.
Yeah.
Setting it up for the rest of the movies coming up, I guess.
However, now for the future going in, because another plot point of this movie was they want to create the new Avengers to assemble another team.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has just like these dudes that he has, the Falcon and that other guy,
Yeah.
then I don't know.
Yeah, if it's just like Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky. And he's already, well, they saw the trailer, he's already going to get his own team, right? I don't know if that's in the same universe or not.
Right, yeah.
But,
was that the Thunderbolts?
Yeah, I don't know if that's Marvel, but if
yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
oh, it is?
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
Then that's going to be weird.
It's kind of like their Suicide Squad, it feels like.
Yeah.
Kind of like rejects thrown together.
So, I don't know. I feel like they have a huge amount to climb if they're going to try to recreate the Avengers in like that way, but if they make it their own, they don't try to stay too like.
And they're also teeing up the X-Men, a lot of the like adamantium and stuff like that. So maybe they're gonna bring them to try to save this thing.
Now that
I think in some iterations they're in there. Some of the are in the Avengers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Because adamantium was a huge plot point.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole like.
The countries are fighting over adamantium. So I don't know.
So yeah,
they put up a lot for them to try to make work, but hopefully they can pull together at the end of it.
Yeah, maybe they're just throwing a bunch of things up in the air and they say, okay, we'll see who tackles what little point.
Yeah.
Just spread it out over a bunch of different movies and say, oh yeah, you see, remember that was important in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of little storylines peppered here and there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Black Widow? Or
the
Widow.
That was one of the characters that didn't hit it for me like at all. It's like
well, she's like 5'2"
or something.
Yeah, maybe
5'2".
5'2".
Exactly.
Maybe he has those 2 extra
She's
inches.
so short.
She's tiny.
And she's bodying these like guards.
Yeah.
I was like, that I guess it's funny, but like I don't know.
I'm like, she's a widow, ex-widow operative. So
Yeah.
she's got this, and it's just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I probably get my ass kicked, but
yeah.
But what are you gonna do against
Anybody?
anyone with like a gun?
Yeah. So I don't know. Just I guess she was there. I never once thought of her like, oh, she's the new widow. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I always thought she was gonna be kind of like a villain too, but no, she was on the same side. So.
Mm-hmm. What of the new Falcon dude?
I kind of liked. I was a little bit rolling my eyes at the start, but I feel like they needed a character like that to kind of like lighten the mood and be kind
of those like mouthy characters who just makes quips.
Yeah, kind of like the Ant-Man, and that was kind of the big jokes about him too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I thought they would have paid that off with a cameo, but
yeah. And then I had people popping off for Ant-Man cameo.
Get something. They needed something. I think they maybe needed something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if like he's done or because I didn't see any of his later movies.
You didn't see the last Ant-Man movie? Oh, that was garbage.
That
was
garbage.
bad.
No.
That's one of those at the bottom of the drain. So
dang.
You want to poke a Marvel movie? That one's ripe for it.
Ah, because I like the first one. So.
Oh, it's not nowhere near the first one.
Ah, shucks. Well.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's another episode, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. The villain looks like a nutsack kind of on his head.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So
that was the part that I could like take seriously. He's like him trying to be this intimidating guy.
Yes, that's what I was like. What? Like he walks up to these guys and like, haha, I got it.
Yeah.
And they're just like
what?
It's like, why didn't you punch him? Just punch the fool.
Yeah, this guy is like...
Just like cave his head in. He didn't plan for that.
The movie could have ended right there.
It's like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
The shield just caved into his head. Nice job, Brainiac.
Nerd. Oh, you know probabilities. I'm probably gonna kick your ass.
Yeah. And he's like showing up like he's like has a hood on and glasses, like hiding himself in broad daylight. And takes off his glasses. He's like, "What the heck?"
He's just like, I'm just gonna close the door on you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a gun? All right. There's a lot of like political stuff going on that kind of mirrors what's happening in real life, but it's kind of just like, I'm just gonna take this as a movie and not really.
I didn't even like think
into
about
it.
any of that. Honestly, I didn't even think of like
realize
the
that
war or
they-
anything. I didn't even. Like,
Yeah, like if you could just separate yourself, you're like you're in the Marvel world, you're
Yeah.
not in the real world, so just go ahead and
yeah.
watch the movie because I guess that could make you weird. Like this is weird,
Yeah.
but like if you just separate yourself and just watch the movie, it's not bad. Yeah, so I'm still sticking with my 6.5, but if anyone said, "Did you like it?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I liked it more than I didn't like it." So
Mm-hmm.
that's about where it lands for me.
Yeah. Sticking with my 7, I think that again, if anybody asks me if you like, oh yeah, it was actually pretty good. I'm like, could talk highly of it. Like the only thing is just a little long, runs a little too long, but wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere near as bad as it's getting or it should be. Just, so yeah.
All right then. I think that will be the end
All
for this
right.
review.
Cool.
Tune in for others. We're gonna be doing some hopefully more often.
Yeah.
As stuff that actually looks good comes out, we'll take a look at it. Give you our take.
Wah.
Wah.